Welcome back. We now turn to the national college sports scene. College basketball season is not only underway at Drake, but across the country. One hot topic for Drake students from our neighbor to the north is about their home team, the Golden Gophers of University of Minnesota. The Gophers stand at 8-0 in the start of their season. But according to the Minnesota Star Tribune, however, Coach Tubby Smith says, quote, "There are still a lot of things that we've got to do better." Despite Minnesota's success in Michigan's 81-73 upset of number 4 ranked Duke, the Big Ten Conference was unable to win the ACC Big Ten Challenge for the 10th year in a row. Number 1 North Carolina took care of business, winning their challenge game against number 12 Michigan State 98-63. Other scores from the ACC Big Ten Challenge: Wisconsin defeats Virginia Tech in a close one, 74-72. Ohio State wins over Miami, 73-68. Wake Forest defeats Indiana, 83-58. Clemson defeats Illinois in a close one, 76-74. And our local Iowa Hawkeyes lose to Boston College, 57-55.
Another big conference battle took place this weekend with the Big 12 Pac-10 Hardwood Series. Unranked USC gave Big 12 leader and number 6 ranked Oklahoma a run for their money, but the Sooners came out of this nail-biter, winning 73-72. Here are some other scores from the action. It was Texas defeating UCLA 68-64. The Cyclones of Iowa State defeat Oregon State 63-50. Arizona State defeated Nebraska 64-44. And the Missouri Tigers had no problems with the Cal Golden Bears. They win 93-66. And Bulldog fans, watch out, because the pesky Hilltoppers from Western Kentucky are on the rise. According to ESPN, they were contenders for Team of the Week with wins over Louisville, Georgia, and Tulane.
On the women's side of NCAA basketball, the UConn Huskies are unstoppable and have yet to be challenged. At 5-0, they're averaging a margin of victory of almost 40 points per game. North Carolina has managed to keep their spot at number 2 at 8-0, but they had a few close calls against Oklahoma and Oregon State. But now it's time to go from the hardwood to the gridiron. Hugh, why don't you give us a rundown of what's been going on in college football?
Absolutely. On Sunday, college football announced the bowl schedule for the upcoming season, highlighted by the BCS matchups, including the national championship game to take place January 8th in Miami. We'll take a look at the final BCS standings right now, and we'll see Oklahoma came in at number 1, the Big 12 champion, followed by the SEC champion Florida at number 2. Then it was Texas, Alabama at number 4, USC at number 5, and then at number 6, Utah, the first school from a non-BCS conference to make the standings, followed by Texas Tech at number 7, Penn State, Boise State, and The Ohio State University round out the BCS top 10. Some of the BCS bowl matchups that were announced on Sunday include the title game between Florida and Oklahoma. Also, the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi will be the USC Trojans against the Penn State Nittany Lions. In addition, the FedEx Orange Bowl will be the Big East champions Cincinnati Bearcats against the ACC champion Virginia Tech Hokies. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl will match up The Ohio State University against Texas. In the All-State Sugar Bowl, Utah will face the Alabama Crimson Tide. Some other bowl games to note: on December 31st, the University of Minnesota Golden Gophers will take on the Kansas Jayhawks in the Insight Bowl. That game is at 5 p.m. on the NFL Network. On January 1st at 10 a.m., the Iowa Hawkeyes will face off against the old ball coach in the South Carolina Gamecocks. That game can be seen 10 a.m. on ESPN.
So now, after going over the BCS, we are going to be joined by reporters Ben Laffin and Noah Green via satellite from the Knapp Center. Guys, there were no surprises on the top as Florida and Oklahoma were chosen as the 2 national championship participants. Oklahoma has scored over 60 points in each of their last 5 games, which is a first in NCAA history. However, enter the Texas Longhorns, who continue to remind the country that they beat the Sooners 45-35 back in October. Guys, do you think the BCS made the right call with these 2 teams?
Barb, 45-35.com. Look it up. Texas beat Oklahoma on a neutral site, 45-35. Texas and Oklahoma both have 1 loss. Texas lost on the road to a legitimate Texas Tech team on a last-second touchdown. On the road, they go into a neutral site where the fans are split 50-50. They beat Oklahoma. They played the same teams as Oklahoma pretty much. They could have beat Missouri. They beat Missouri by as much as Oklahoma did in the Big 12 championship game. Head-to-head, Texas is the better football team, and they got the big shafts. What can you say?
There's a reason they don't pay him to do this job. I think the BCS got it correct this year. We are going to see the 2 hottest teams in the nation, probably one of the best national championship games in the past 10 years. Oklahoma just been embarrassing teams. Like I said, 5 straight games with 60-plus points. Florida took it to Alabama in the SEC championship. I think they got it perfectly right. Texas, good luck in the Fiesta Bowl.
I think something that would fix both of what you guys are saying is if we just had a playoff. Then Oklahoma and Texas would both have shots at the national championship, and college football would just rise, and I think everybody would enjoy seeing a playoff. Maybe an 8-team playoff, and then Texas and Oklahoma would both have a shot at the national title.
Yeah, thanks, Hugh. That's actually what we're going to lead into because we want to get Noah and Ben's input on this. It's been an argument for the past several years that the BCS needs to change to a playoff system. So, guys, what do you think about this?
Playoffs? We're talking about playoffs? I absolutely disagree with that. The BCS is great as is right now. It maintains the prestige of the major bowls, and I can't imagine adding another week on top of those bowl games for those guys to play with wear and tear and stuff. You might not get to see some of the best players after that.
Prestige of the bowl season. Let's remember, there's the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl. Let's remember that. My family always gathers around to watch that bowl, the Cars.com Bowl. No, we need a playoff. 8, 12, 16 teams fight out. Just like in NCAA basketball, there's more than 2 teams that deserve a national title shot. Really, just let them fight out. Let them play it out on the field rather than have a bunch of computer geeks decide what they're going to have. Geekeroids stink.
All right, guys, thanks for your input on that. One
question.
question.
Thing I'd like to say is I think bowl tradition might be a little bit overrated. I mean, I think a playoff is what people want. You talked about the NCAA basketball tournament, very, very popular in this country, and March Madness is just huge. And I think if we had maybe like a fall madness type of deal with the NCAA creating a playoff, a lot of people would enjoy that.
All right, thanks for that, Hugh. Our last question of the morning is going to be this. Which non-BCS bowl game is going to bring the most heat in this bowl season? We'll start off with you up here, Hugh.
Well, non-BCS game that I'm certainly looking forward to is going to be the San Diego County Credit Union Poinsettia Bowl. Glad I got that out. TCU will face off against Boise State. The Broncos are undefeated. They have a very high-powered offense, and TCU, who only has 2 losses on the season, both against really good teams. They lost to Utah and they lost to Oklahoma. And the TCU defense is stellar, and they're going to give the Boise State Broncos a run for their money. So that's one game that I'm definitely looking forward to seeing come bowl season.
Guys, what do you think?
Chick-fil-A Bowl, formerly known as the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, has the triple option attack of Georgia Tech, led by their new coach Paul Johnson, taking on the LSU Tigers. LSU, they fell back a little bit from their national championship season, so we'll have to see how that goes. But I think the ACC actually has the edge over the SEC in this matchup, believe it or not.
Go Big Red! Go Big Red. I'm looking forward to the Nebraska Cornhuskers in a New Year's Day Bowl against the Clemson Tigers. It's good to see Bo Pelini and the Huskers back on the national stage. Go Huskers.
And I will definitely agree with you on that, Ben. But that's all the time that we have for discussion here. We will be right back after this commercial break, so stick around.
I only want what's best for my sweet baby. That's why I buy Snossages.
Snossages? Oh boy, I love Snossages.
With Snossages, we can even have breakfast together. When I'm cooking up my eggs and bacon, Yoshi here can have his treat. Made with real beef, chicken, and animal fats.
There's animal fat in those things? Hit me up, woman. I'm starving.
It's almost snack time.
Almost? It was time 4 hours ago.
Here you go, Yoshi.
Finally! God, these are so much better than cardboard. Snossages. Better than cardboard.